Thanks for staying with us, everyone. Today we're discussing public safety with Councilwoman Frances Allen Palenske. Joining the Councilwoman and me is another special guest. For the past 10 years, he's kept the people of Ward 4 safe, serving with Las Vegas Fire and Rescue. We're happy to have Dr. Nicholas Rhodes, a captain with LVFR, on the show, and he represents Station 48 in Ward 4.
Yay!
This is something you know a lot about. First of all, welcome, Nick, to have you on the show. Great to have you here.
Thank you very much.
Something you know a lot about because your husband is a retired firefighter and a captain as well.
Yep, and I have a son on fire department. My father was a police officer. And they all think that I'm on the other side. My husband thinks I'm too pro-cop, and most of the cops in town think I'm too pro-fire, so.
See, that's what,
it's a wonderful thing.
That's why you're a councilwoman, because you can bring all sides together.
Yes, the peacemaker.
Exactly. Well, Nick, it's great to have you here. You have an impressive resume yourself. Now, I need to clarify one thing. For those who are music aficionados, this is not the Nick Rhodes who was in Duran Duran. This is
I didn't even know there was another one.
I didn't learn that until about 2 or 3 years ago.
There you go.
And I just aged myself. So, of course, my generation would know that. Nick doesn't know who I'm talking about here. But anyway, no, just kidding. You have a PhD in public safety, primarily focused on the health and well-being of your team, correct?
Yes, it is a doctor of public policy focused in firefighter health, where essentially I just studied a lot of revised statutes around the country and department policy, basically understanding how they take care of their primary resource, their people.
Yeah.
So being able to build infrastructure and support systems to be able to not only keep firemen healthy through their career, but send them into retirement nice and healthy.
Yeah. Councilwoman, I know this is near and dear to you because firefighters, like police officers, have a very hard, grueling job. You see a lot of tough things in the course of your career.
Both physically and mentally.
Exactly right, and that's exactly my point. And so being able to navigate that, and sometimes I think in the past it was kind of like Nick, I think, and Councilwoman would, I'm sure, vouch for this. Kind of the sense was, well, just buck up. You know, you're a firefighter, you're a police officer, you're a soldier. Just deal with it. It hasn't really worked so well over the years, has it?
Yeah, no, and that way of thinking has made its way around and kind of making its way out the door now. But I think that's why we have to understand it's more so of an ecosystem that we put our firefighters in, so that way they aren't forced into, you know, doing certain things or having to visit certain individuals, but they have the resources available to them when, you know, when their cup is full. They have somewhere to go, whether that's physically or psychologically. They know that there's someone there to help.
Nick, I got to ask you, this had to have been a new field when you went into this, when you started your doctoral program on this. It had to have been something that was fairly new, I would think. I can't think there were a lot of people that were doing what you were doing related to this.
No, actually, the DPP program is out of UNLV, and I was surrounded by individuals that were studying water shortage and homelessness and things that were more particular to the community, where if we have to keep our community safe, it's not just having firemen or police officers, it's having healthy and firemen and police officers, or firefighters, I apologize, firefighters and police officers. So really trying to understand how, if we know the job is taxing and grueling, and it's like that across the country, how do we take care of those individuals?
Navigate that, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Councilwoman, I think you know this, you're from your family background. It's important to deal with those issues up front, not let them fester and hope that things get better in the future. It tends not to be the case, right?
Trauma always comes to the surface. Yeah, right. It does.
Yeah. Nick, I think one thing that's interesting, you kind of take your philosophy of well-being emotionally and physically in your off time too. You operate a gym, is that right?
Yes, I opened a gym with my best friends about 8 years ago now, over off of Cheyenne 95, which was good. It was a good learning experience for myself to, you know, have different customers from all walks of life bring, you know, different problems, whether it's requests for equipment, classes, machines, things that I've just learned to adapt to in the fitness industry. I've now been able to bring over to the fire stations. About 5 years ago, I was responsible for developing a replacement plan for our fitness equipment in the stations. and just understanding like what is actually a good piece of equipment for firefighters to use, and what will fit in the stations, what's something that can create a healthy, physically strong firefighter. So they cross over really well, and I'm fortunate enough that went well.
Firefighters have this gap of time when they're off the job. Having something constructive that's going to keep you physically and mentally prepared and safe through those times when you're not on the job, versus just I'm going to go home and watch television or play video games or something, is so important, isn't it?
Yes, and you need both. You have to unplug, and I think some of us have a hard time doing that. Whether it's whether you're just trying to do something, going out physically, but sometimes your body tells you, hey, today is a day that you need to have a seat and just relax and take a break. So it's funny. We just need to learn to listen to our bodies and not have that stubborn outlook of I'm going to keep going.
Exactly. So all the more important after 48 hours on. Wow.
And with our paramedic shortages, so many of our paramedics so many of our paramedics after that 48-hour period are forced to work because there's no staff for 72 hours. 72 hours of no sleep. It's hard to do dosages. It's hard to do things and be clear-headed. So that paramedic shortage is something that I ring the bell every time anybody asks.
It's such a great point, Councilwoman, and we always are, every time we have a recruitment, we want the best and brightest out there to consider being a firefighter. And I think, too, Nick, there's a whole different mindset moving into the future. We really are about not only taking care of the community, but taking care of our personnel, maybe perhaps better than we did in the years past.
Yes, we're getting there. We just actually had the opportunity to appoint a health and safety officer. There's different resources that are coming daily. We have a clinic now that our union's been able to put together for us. It is coming to light slowly but surely. But like you said, with the shortage and having force hires and being able to juggle work life with home life, and it is quite the balancing act. And I think we're all learning. And just making sure that it's going to take some time, but we're definitely on our way.
Yeah, I think to the Councilwoman's point, when you've got a staff that is prepared emotionally, physically, they're going to be able to do their jobs better, and I think that was your point.
Correct.
Nick, let me ask you, so what else you're obviously someone who's very innovative. What else do you have cooking that the department is doing maybe to better serve the community overall?
We are addressing our staffing constantly. We're running academies regularly, twice a year, 2 or 3 times a year. We just opened Station 46. There's a lot that we're continually growing a lot as the community grows. We're steady on top of the staffing. I think that's the big part that we're having to stay on top of as far as keeping the community safe. We just put out a recruitment for our dispatchers. We have some new dispatchers coming. So it just is overall, I think our entire infrastructure is growing. We got more chiefs that have now been appointed. So we're definitely going to be running a finely tuned machine here, which is awesome to see.
Keeps the call times down. Things happen faster. You're able to be more responsive to the community. Now, Nick, before you get out of here, we've got a couple of minutes left. I understand you played college football back in your day. Is that right?
Yes, I did.
So I'm a college football fanatic, as the Councilwoman is, and so that really was interesting to me. So you played for UNR?
Yes,
for Nevada?
I played for Nevada, yes.
What position did you play?
I kicked. I kicked from 07 to 12. So if you watch football, you probably know about the Nevada-Boise game.
I was there.
That was the guy. That was one of my last football games.
Nice.
Was
so
that
you're a celebrity?
Yes. Oh no, I might as well have been one of the students that was running out there. But yeah, it was a great time. I love my time up in Reno.
Now I don't want to let you get out of here because now there's a little football game. Speaking of police and fire, on May 11th.
Neutral, Switzerland.
For charity. So I take it you'll be taking part in that.
So. Yes. For everyone, if you come out May 11th. 11th, it'll be at Gorman High School.
Okay.
Police versus Fire annual charity football game. This is our 3rd annual football game.
And the cops better keep you outside of the 40-yard line because you'll be knocking field goals in from.
We're trying. We're trying. Doing that and not hurting yourself has been one of the balances.
It's funny how when you get older, that tends to be the case.
Nick.
Yeah, totally relate to it. Well, Dr. Nicholas Rhodes, pleasure to have you on the program. Best of luck to you. You're doing important work out there. You're making our fire department better, which is going to make our community better. And just
keep
a pleasure.
Ward 4 safe.
And keep Ward 4 safe too, which is your primary job right now. Yes. But you're obviously doing a great job there. Yes. So best of luck to you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. And Councilwoman, again, stick around, don't leave me.
Of course.
We need to take another short break, but before we wrap up, we have some upcoming events to tell you about in Ward 4 that you don't want to miss.